go through all of them
Yeah,
actually, because
actually don't know.
we don't know too much. We just, the only ones I know is throat, is like what you've been holding in, and for heart, it just feels like heart.
Okay, let's do this later. So we'll go through the chakras now.
That'd be awesome.
So the root chakra is like everything related to basic needs and this 3D life. So the security, it's like a lot of people that get fired or they need to move or something like that, they have their first chakra completely blocked because they're so afraid of what the future will hold. So basic needs, you know, food, home, all that, and it's red in color. And it starts, it's the flesh in between the anus and then the reproductive organs. It opens up down from there. And in a way, it's of course because it's the security. It's also related to money. But then there's other chakras that are related to money because money is quite a complex thing. And in a way, if you wanna kind of do well in this life, you need to have strong root chakra because it keeps you here. Especially like when you start meditating a lot. You know, and all of a sudden, like your higher chakras are activated, you start kind of like floating, and you know, this starts to happen, and then it's really important, you know, to stay grounded, to keep kind of energizing or just having your awareness in your root chakra, just to stay here as well. So you know, you can be connected to both places, but unless you have a strong root chakra, then you're not rooted into this, you know, earthly life properly. And you can imagine that the root chakra starts to grow and it goes kind of through the earth, into the earth, and start energizing so that you kind of suck energy from the earth into your root chakra. And then you can also imagine roots from the sole of your feet and from your tailbone and stuff like that. But we're staying the chakras now. The second chakra is orange in color, and the exact place is when the belly button is here. It's kind of like 3-4 centimeters below the belly button. But of course that varies a little bit because there's different sizes of people.
Base?
Second chakra. I bring you all the Sanskrit names of them on Monday, or if I'm not here, Monday or Tuesday. So we get all that, but this is like the qualities now. So it's orange in color, and that's like your pleasure center. So of course it's very related to how you experience sex, and if you have guilt about sex or any negative feelings, that's where they live. And but not just sex, also all kinds of pleasure and joy. So the more your second chakra is open, the more you'll be able to just enjoy things and throw yourself into situations without judging or feeling guilty, or feeling bad, or feeling that you're doing wrong, or something like that. And then the solar plexus, manipula chakra, it's yellow in color, and that is where your personal power lives. And it's not the same in any way as the ego, because the ego has like false power. The ego tries to force things through, but it's not power, it's actually weakness and it's fear, because it feels like unless it fights, it won't get what it wants. And the inner power is the power where you don't have to force anything, because you're so powerful that, you will make it happen anyway, so no need to fight. And especially actually in this age, it's very important that people that are on spiritual path, they bring their heart chakra and their power together. So the power is not just power, and the heart is not just like, yeah, I love you. But bringing those together, they'll be able to speak their truth and stay in them when the situation is really difficult. And that is how the world will start to change, because there's more and more people that, have worked through their fears. They don't choose something because of the fear. They stay in their power and go, okay, this is what's going to happen. So yes, so this is where your power lives. And also, it's very blocked, because it's also where, in a way, your weakness lives. All those moments in your past where you felt like somebody was being really unfair to you and you couldn't do anything about it. All those blocked power situations, that's where they are. And the more you clear them, of course, the more powerful you become, because then you wouldn't do that anymore. And then there's the which surprisingly is cream in color. It's like light cream. You would think that it's pink. And in a way it has this pink quality, but it is light cream. And it's where your love and compassion and acceptance and everything lives. Most people have it very blocked, especially if they didn't get much love as a child. As a defense mechanism, they kind of close their heart. And then, especially if there's been disappointments in relationships and in this earthly life, automatically, unconsciously, people put walls around the heart, so they wouldn't get hurt there anymore. But actually, the best thing you can do to yourself is allow yourself to have a broken heart, because being present to a pain in your heart, whatever it is, will expand your heart so much, and it becomes so much more powerful. And then
I have a quick question about the heart. Like, I don't know when, but in the past few years, I feel like it's just like completely gotten crazy free. Like, I feel like, all the time from my heart, or like, but at the same time, it hurts more. Like when I see people in pain, I feel it like really, really, really strong in my heart. Do you think that has to do with the heart chakra? Yeah. Like, it hurts.
And it's completely normal.
Okay.
But you won't be hurting as much if you just let it stay open. And the thing is that the more your heart is open, because we attract what we are. So therefore, what you see in life mirrors what you have inside. And like, I've been so amazed here in Rishikesh now, because the last time I was here, I saw every day, all the time, I saw people beating up dogs and cows with sticks, and I saw horrible things all the time. And I really didn't like Rishikesh at all. And well, I'm also staying in a different place, but still, I believe it's awe, because I'm different from inside, so it's mirroring what I have more inside now. And what I see now is people like cuddling with the cows and feeding them, and taking care of the dogs, and it's like, yeah, you don't see anymore when your heart gets stronger, and instead of hurt, you start feeling compassion when you see something that is not right. Then slowly you start seeing more and more just good things, which will bring you more joy, and then the joy will bring you good experiences and good things to see and all that. So, but it's really good, and it's really brave of you to keep the heart open even if it hurts. And seriously, just letting it hurt and going through to the other side of the hurt will just expand it even more all the time, make it stronger. And then your life will be stronger, and your compassion and everything. So.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Actually, many. But
Yeah.
how do you, like, if you're like just paying attention, can you like feel the blocks? Like, how do you know if you have a block?
Yeah.
Like for me, like for me, when I like feel energy, it's like here, here, and here, but then it's not so much down here.
Okay.
So I'm guessing these are blocked, but
There might be blocks there, but also it might be, another reason might be that the energy that we kind of move in meditations is quite high frequency, so it resonates more in the higher chakras, because, it's like the heart is the middle chakra that unites kind of like the consciousness and the body. So these first three chakras are related to like the body and earth and this illusion that we live, and then these three chakras, like starting from, this is the joint, the throat and the third eye and the crown. These are what are connected to the higher consciousness and to everything that is really. So, and that is the consciousness that we're trying to connect to in meditation. So therefore you would feel them more with the higher chakras. But also the blocks, you don't necessarily feel them as much in your physical body. You realize them more when you're being present to yourself, and you start to realize that there are certain things that you don't allow for yourself, or there are certain things that you avoid, and there's certain things that make you feel bad or stuff like that. Then you realize, I've been blocking this from my life, since I can remember. So you realize them more in the psychological way. But yeah, then there's the throat chakra, which is light blue in color. And yes, it's the communication. So in a way, these three chakras are so closely joined together, the throat and the heart and the solar plexus, because here you get your power to speak what you want, colored with compassion, so it comes out in the right way. And clearing one chakra will always affect the other chakras nearby. So.
is it also like creativity?
Yeah, definitely.
Heart is creativity?
The throat, yeah. And then there's third eye, Ajna chakra. And that's really related to creativity as well, because, you know, your intuition gets stronger, and in a way, creativity is, I feel more and more the same thing as channeling, you know, you listen to what comes through you, so all these ideas, you hear them and put them into action.
Sorry, how would you describe the third eye again?
It's your intuition.
Intuition.
Yeah. So that's where you get messages from your own soul and collective consciousness.
It's the color.
Indigo blue, so dark blue. And just the most simple thing you can do to work on your chakras is just to imagine a tube that is the color that it is. Being, like right now, when you asked what color it is, and I said dark blue, and then immediately I got like an image how I have this dark blue tube coming from, and it started to tingle so much. So, you know, just put wherever you put your awareness, that gets strengthened. And we are all connected. I mean, there are millions of stories how somebody healed themselves and their family changed somehow, even though they live on the other side of the world. Because through here, you know, we're so connected to everything, but especially, of course, to our family and the closest friends. So, but we're coming here. Yes, and then there's the crown chakra, which is purple.
Sure.
And from here, from the third eye, you are connected to all these people. From here, you are connected to the divine, all the way to the source, to everything that is, to all the higher energies.
So it's like the connection?
Yeah. And for example, when you, if you get into like energy heals and stuff like that, that's where it comes from. Like you connect to whatever you're channeling, and it comes through your crown chakra, and you can really feel it. I remember my greatest experience was when there was a woman in Finland having leukemia, and she was so weak she couldn't even speak. She had like blood what do you call it?
Transfusion?
Yeah. And all the bone thingies. I don't know what it terms. But anyway, like she had like a major operations, and she was so weak. But she was someone who had done all the Reiki courses herself, and she knew it would help. She just wasn't able to do anything herself, so she contacted someone who knew me, and I went into the hospital to do it. And until then, I had known that it is through my crown chakra, but I never really thought that much of something happening to it. But because she was so weak and she needed so much life force and everything, she was sucking it like there's no tomorrow. And for an hour and a half, I was like this, you know. And for a week, I felt like I have no top of the head anymore. It's like it's gone. There's like a hole here. And it was just tingling, and it was an amazing experience because I could really feel like, you know, there was a hole there, but now they were like for it from up there.
Yeah.
And so that's where the higher energies come through. And it's really good to also have your awareness in meditation if you feel you want to connect to your higher self and stuff like that. Have the awareness on the top of your head, just as simple as that. Because where the awareness is there, you know, it's strengthened. And then, they also say we have something called the soul star, which is about 15 centimeters above your head, and that's like where your soul kind of lives. And it's like another chakra which is inside your being because it's in your aura, it's in your energy body, but it's not on your physical body. But the and then also something called I don't actually know the name in English because I've only been reading about it in Finnish. But equally there would be something like about 15, sometimes even 30 centimeters below your feet, kind of like an earth chakra. But the traditional 7 main chakra, I mean, we have thousands of chakras, smaller ones, but these are the main ones. But also, just to confuse you, before we go, now that, I don't know if you've heard about like this new generation that is being born, there's been like the indigo children and crystal children and, well, I don't know if you've noticed, but the children being born today are quite different from, people being born 30, 40, 50 years ago. They're so much more connected. And what they say is that they've actually have one huge chakra, which is their heart. So they've kind of like combined everything. That this would be like the old system. But now, and then I guess like us, being old and stuff, we would have these. But like all children born 2006, 2008, which is now one huge gigantic heart chakra and everything else.
What is the changes that, because Lavina was talking about change that happened in the past year, like from things that you've been reading or like know about?
There was a huge shift last year, end of last year actually, and it has affected so much in a physical level as well. On energy level, the frequency is so much higher and so much faster. And I don't know if you've experienced life differently, but just on a physical level, basically, because we're raising in consciousness and evolving so fast now, and a lot of people that are not on a spiritual path, they're like trying to hang on to what they've had, even though it's not really working. So that is being break down. So I mean, seriously, like so many people got divorced last year, and people that have been happily married for like 20 years, and then all of a sudden they woke up and they were like, why am I here? It's not serving me anymore, and they absolutely couldn't go on with it anymore. A bunch of people got fired just because the work they were doing wasn't serving their life purpose anymore. And I went like, this is hell myself. But in a way, it was the greatest thing ever because after it, not during it, I just seriously wish somebody would just come and take it away and it would just go away and all that. But after, I realized that what was really happening, beyond the pain, was that everything that wasn't really serving me anymore was taken away. And the pain that I felt was like, the non-attachment part, which I didn't want to do. So, and systems in the world that are not serving, like all these bank crises and loan things, and all these like things that they've been happening always. Right now, they've been brought in front of everyone, so they can look at them and go, whoa, and it's been cleared. And Mother Earth is clearing so much. I mean, there's like all of these natural disasters taking place all over the place. And they've been actually going on for like a long time now. And one of the purposes is, I get so emotional when I think about this. It's because there's been stuff like the tsunami in Thailand. there's been a lot of stuff in Thailand that needs to be healed. One of them being like child prostitution and stuff like that. So what like the planet has been doing is like bringing the energy that it's been held there, like the lower, darker energy, and let it kind of like explode. So the rest of the planet takes all their attention and compassion and like this, like like everything that is good in people. They're like looking at Thailand and they're thinking, how can I help? What can I do? And there's like all these volunteer workers going there, like just because they want to do something good, they don't want anything out of it. So like all this energy is being poured into the place for some time, letting the earth heal there, and then there's Haiti, and so like something happens somewhere, and then the rest of the world goes healing energy. And we don't know that we're doing it, but it's happening because everyone can feel it. So so in so many different levels, there's been dark things coming into light, people looking at them and making changes, healing and stuff like that.
Is this supposed to last and continue on for like years? Or?
Yeah, well they say that it will take about 20-30 years until we get where we're going. But I mean, of course, every single person contributes, so in a way it can happen really quickly, but the aim is to break the ego completely and everyone living from their heart and from their truth, and everything being all wonderful. But of course the transition will take a long time, and it didn't start last year. Last year was the shift in energy because of the planetary alignments. For the first time ever, we started getting this really high frequency conscious energy on this planet, and that's why so many people were like, what? Things that they've never seen before, they started seeing, and things they never realized that they felt bad about, they started consciously feeling bad about it and realized they need to change it and stuff like that. So it's almost like one of the veils was taken off in front of us. And there's still more, but they're thinner. And the more people work on themselves, the easier it will be for the masses, because the overall energy will get higher and higher with each individual. And then, this 100 monkeys theory that, when there's enough of individuals, the name comes from this story that somewhere in, like, let's say Bali, I don't know where it was like a wonderful island somewhere that was not connected to other islands, so the mainland, a tropical island.
We did hear something about that.
Yeah, and then there were monkeys raiding sweet potatoes and had done so for centuries. And then one day, one monkey decided to wash it and was like, oh wow, it smells better without the sand all over it. And then other monkeys were like, whoa, And then, eventually they tried it too, and they started to like it. And after 100 monkeys were doing it and thinking it's completely normal, even though until then no one had done it. And when the first one started to do it, they thought he was being weird. So when 100 monkeys were doing it, all the other monkeys on the other islands started to do it, even though they were in no contact. But because we're all connected, so when there's enough of individuals, realizing something, they would take the rest of the individuals with them. That's why everyone who's on their own spiritual path and working on themselves are really doing a favor for the whole world.